All right, so you want to go deep on this Amari Cooper trade? Let's do it. The Bills making a move mid-season, bringing in a big-time receiver. What's the deal? We're breaking it all down right here.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is this isn't just like, the Bills adding a shiny new toy to their offense. This feels different.
Right. It's not like they were hurting for receivers, but something clearly wasn't clicking.
Exactly.
I mean, even their coach, Sean McDermott, he was saying they were hoping some of their current guys would step up. Hoping.
And when that didn't happen, well, the pressure was on.
Okay.
This is a team that's built to win now. Super Bowl window, not exactly a leisurely stroll in the park.
No, not at all. More like sprinting to the finish line, got to make every second count.
Exactly.
So it's like they went into the season thinking, we got options. Somebody will rise to the occasion, and then crickets.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to Amari Cooper. Why him?
And the Bills were pretty clear about what they were looking for. A receiver who can create that, quote, separation. What are we really talking about there for those of us who don't speak fluent football?
It's funny you say that because it really is kind of like its own language. But separation really just means, can your receiver get open? Can they create space between themselves and the defender?
So it's like a well-timed cut to the basket in basketball, leaving the defender flat-footed?
Yeah, exactly. It's about giving your quarterback a clear target.
Yeah.
Makes their job a whole lot easier. And, Cooper, he's really good at that.
Yeah.
He may not be the flashiest guy out there making those crazy highlight reel catches every game, but he is super consistent, gets open.
And the numbers back that up. I mean, in 2023, he was third among all receivers in yards per reception.
And here's another thing. He actually led the league in something called air yards on incomplete targets.
Wait, so he's racking up yards even when the passes aren't connecting? How does that work?
Well, in a way, yeah. What it tells you is even when the ball isn't caught, he's finding those open spaces downfield. He's making himself a target. And for a quarterback like Josh Allen, who's got that cannon for an arm, that's a really good sign. It means Cooper can get open deep.
So if I'm sending like a really important package, he's the delivery driver who's always there, right on time, ready to sign. Like reliability, that's huge.
100%. But it wasn't just about finding any reliable receiver. They needed someone who could hit the ground running. That's where that connection with their wide receiver coach, Adam Henry, comes in.
Right, because Henry coached Cooper back when he was with the Cowboys. How much does that familiarity, how much does that actually matter in a situation like this?
It can be huge,
Yeah.
especially in a midseason trade. I mean, you don't have a whole offseason to learn the playbook, to build that chemistry.
Yeah.
Cooper needs to be ready to contribute right away.
No time for hand-holding when the season's already in full swing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And having that previous relationship with Henry means they don't have to start from scratch.
They can just pick up where they left off back in Dallas.
Exactly.
Okay, so Cooper's got the talent, he's got the track record, now he's got a familiar face in the coaching staff. Sounds like the perfect recipe, right?
Well, not so fast.
Yeah.
This is where the plot thickens a little bit, right? Because week 1 with the Bills, he's up against the Tennessee Titans. And they have the stingiest, the toughest passing defense in the entire league. Talk about a trial by fire.
Oh, man. You're right. The Titans' defense is like that one friend that nobody wants to play against and pick up, because they always bring their A game.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And they've been incredibly tough against the pass this season. Like just giving up an average of 137 passing yards per game, that's it. So that's the real test right there. Can Amari Cooper, can he find that separation against a top-ranked secondary like that?
So what's your take? Is this a recipe for success? Are the Bills placing a risky bet? What do we think?
That is the million-dollar question. We'll have to see how it all unfolds on the field.
Yeah, I mean, bringing in a guy like Cooper, it's got to change the dynamic for everybody else, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, all right, we know what Diggs brings to the table, but now suddenly there's this whole other weapon that defenses have to worry about.
Yeah, and they can't just key in on Diggs anymore. So like for a guy like Gabe Davis, who has had a little bit of a slow start to the season.
Yeah, not quite the breakout year everyone was expecting after that playoff performance last year.
Right, exactly. This could be huge for him. Cooper's going to draw a lot of attention, potentially opens up more space for Davis to work with. Might see some more of those big plays we know he's capable of.
So potentially a win-win for the Bills. And what about Knox, their tight end? He seemed to have that spot locked down.
Yeah, Knox is interesting, right? He's a talented player, but he really thrives on those red zone targets, those close-range throws, where his size and his hands make him a tough matchup.
So are you thinking maybe Cooper's arrival actually, eats into Knox's production a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if defenses are more spread out now?
It's possible, but you could also argue that it forces defenses to, defend that entire field, which could actually open things up for everyone in the long run. It's like this constant chess match.
Right. Always adapting. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. Big picture, right? Super Bowl or bust, that's the vibe for this Bills team. How does this trade fit into that mentality?
It's a bold move, no question.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, they were this close last year. They got a lot of the same pieces in place. They're in a tough division, AFC East. It's a dogfight every rink. This trade, it just screams win now mode.
Yeah, like sending a message to the rest of the league. We're not messing around here.
Exactly. And it's not just about the talent on the field. It's the message it sends to their own locker room. Like the front office is showing that they are all in on this team this season.
That's got to be a huge confidence boost for those players, knowing the organization has their back, that they're willing to make these big moves.
Oh, absolutely. But of course, every rose has its thorns. There's always risks, right?
Yeah.
Especially with a trade of this magnitude.
Right. Like, what if Cooper doesn't mesh with the offense? What if he struggles to adapt to a new system mid-season? I mean, we've seen big-name acquisitions backfire before.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And the pressure, let's not forget about the pressure that comes with being, the big-name acquisition. All eyes are going to be on Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Especially in those crucial late-season games.
Yeah. Make or break time, and they've put a lot of their chips on Amari Cooper. No pressure, right?
Right. And that's what makes this whole situation so fascinating. The stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome, well, it's far from certain.
It's like a high-stakes poker game, and the Bills just went all in. But what does this mean for their long-term plans? Are they mortgaging their future for a shot at the Lombardi Trophy right now? So they're all in on this season, but what about next year, the year after? Are we talking like mortgaging the future for a shot at the Lombardi Trophy right now?
Well, it's a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
This trade tells me they're very much invested in this current core. They see the window with Allen, Diggs, now Cooper, and it's, strike while the iron's hot.
Makes sense. You don't want to let a chance like this slip away, especially in a league where things change so fast.
Oh, in a heartbeat. 1 minute you're contending, next you're rebuilding.
Yeah.
But it also tells me that they are willing to be aggressive in the trade market, even if that means giving up future draft picks.
Because a bird in the hand, especially one with Cooper's resume, is worth 2 in the bush.
Exactly, yeah. Draft picks, those are potential, right?
Yeah.
Cooper, that's proven talent. Right now for the Bills, it's about what they can do this season. It's a gamble, but it's a calculated one.
All right, so as we wrap up here, let's put ourselves in the shoes of Bills fans for a second. What's the takeaway here? Excitement, nervousness, cautious optimism. What are we feeling?
I think it's probably a healthy mix of all of the above, right? I mean, this trade has injected a serious jolt of energy into this season. The Bills just got a whole lot more dangerous on offense, but with those high expectations comes pressure.
Right. Can Cooper live up to the hype? Can he be that missing piece in their Super Bowl puzzle? I guess only time will tell, but one thing's for sure.
It's going to be fun to watch.
It certainly is. The Amari Cooper trade, we dove into the strategy, the stakes, the potential impact, the whole 9 yards. What do you think? Was this the right move for the Bills? Let us know. And as always, thanks for diving deep with us.